Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And how are we all today? Well, today is yet another beautiful day here in Zakynthos. Just taking a picture looking over towards the hills, but from another angle this morning, looking over the top of the grapevines that have really starting to come on at the moment. These are the wine making ones. They're the ones on the floor, while the ones on the trestle, those are the eaters. But as you can see in the sky, absolutely clear blue skies, absolutely beautiful. I think we're in for a lovely warm day. Yesterday, Jane and I, we were out in Kalamaki yesterday afternoon, and then we also went quickly to Sillavi. Big shout out to Claude at Melon Bar yesterday. We went and checked up on Claude. Also big shout out to Sheila as well. Very, very pleasant afternoon. And then we went up to Sillavi, did a quick recce round Sillavi to see how things were coming along. And yeah, people are getting ready to open. There's no two ways about it. A lot of work still going on in bars and places, even though everything at the moment is in doubt as to what's going to happen. And I've got some more news as well on that front anyway, and I will crack on with that. But as you can see, today is absolutely glorious. I've just seen Amanda Gregory's weather forecast suddenly appear, but I can't read it as always because it's too bright with the sun. But again, looks absolutely fantastic. But I want to crack on anyway with the news this morning because there has been a lot going on in the last 24 hours. Some good, some interesting, and some of it obviously a little bit shocking as well. Right, so I'll just quickly give that weather forecast from Amanda. She says, good morning, Ginge. Sunny and pleasantly warm today. A cool breeze. I've got to be honest, there is a breeze blowing. I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. Highs of 24 will feel like 26. Enjoy the day. And I most certainly will. And thank you for that, Amanda. That is greatly appreciated. Big shout out to Steve Hinkling over there in Stoke-on-Trent. He says, Galimera looks lovely. Hope you had a good day at the beach. Well, we never actually got to the beach, actually, to be quite honest. We just basically we sat in a bar. Doesn't that make us sound bad? Anyway, let's have a look at what's been going on, and let's get the news to you today. Right, okay, so today is the 10th of May 2021. It's Monday. It's day 187 of our lockdown. COVID in the last 24 hours, things are starting to pick up and improve in that respect. You might remember the other day that our infections was 2,461. That number is down today. Only 1,428 new infections were recorded across Greece yesterday. So that's a positive move. Total amount of infections since the pandemic started now is 362,004. Anyway, one new case was identified coming into through the border checks, which is fantastic news. That was down from 4 on the previous day. Now, according to the national stats yesterday, there was one case in Macardo. There were no cases in Kefalonia. There were 10 new cases in Curfew, and Zakynthos has had no new cases whatsoever. And the local press also confirmed that there had been no new cases, and this was the second consecutive day. So maybe, hopefully, things are on the up for us here in Zakynthos. So at the moment, this month, we've technically had 14 new cases for the month of May, and it's already now the 10th of May. So the numbers are down on this time last month. Anyway, when it comes to deaths across Greece, new deaths, that number is also down. Yesterday I reported you 68. Today I can report to you 51 new deaths across the country. That brings the death toll now to 11,029. The average age of the people who passed away was 79 years of age. 96.4% of them had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. And once again, our condolences to family members who've lost somebody at this time. So when it comes to critical cases, again, critical cases are down as well. That's another good move. 737 people were in incubation across Greece. That number has now dropped down to 728, of which 452 were male, 276 were female. The average age of those people in ICUs across the country, around about 68 years of age. 83.5% of those had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. So at the moment, all the figures are going down, 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 which is fantastic news. Now, other good news that's come in, this is also reflects Zakynthos, double the numbers of coronavirus vaccinations from the average of the previous days took place on Wednesday, May the 5th. In fact, according to official data, there was 108,576 vaccinations were performed in one day, a record number for Greece. Of these, 57,999 were the first dose, and 50,577 were people receiving their second dose of the vaccine. Anyway, the message for Zakynthos is it's very optimistic as the demand is increasing here on the island, and more people here are interested in booking their appointments immediately in order to be shielded from the deadly virus. I think most people are booking their appointments simply because they want to work, basically. I think that's the bottom line of it. However, according to data declared on the platform, it seems that Zakynthos at the moment has had 11,769 people vaccinated, of which 8,068 had received their first dose, and 3,701 had received their second dose of the vaccine that they were due to be given. Now, in this context, there's going to be 2 extra vaccination lines to be created. That's expected to happen soon in order to serve local citizens, since there is already 6 vaccination lines at the moment running, 4 of them for Pfizer Biotech, 1 for Johnson & Johnson and 1 for AstraZeneca. They're expecting to create another 2 lines, which will be for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is the single dose vaccine. So you only need to go for that once, and then that's it, you're done and dusted. Anyway, we're going to keep an eye on that. The local MP has been banging on about that, and we'll see how soon that actually happens. Anyway, the bad news at the moment is development and investment. Oh no, this is good. This is mixture news, actually, to be quite honest. Development and Investment Minister Adonis Georgiadis said on Sunday gyms could open again on Monday, May the 17th, if there is no spike in infections. Georgiadis told state TV adding that the government will provide financial assistance to gyms initially. Only those who had completed their vaccinations will be able to visit the gym. So basically what they're saying initially at the moment, the Greek government is saying unless you've been vaccinated, you cannot use your gym membership. So I'm one of those in that pickle, that I won't be able to go back to the gym because I haven't yet had the vaccine. Anyway, in an interview on the TV channel Sky, the Greek Sky channel, Georgiadis said that curfew is also expected to be pushed back from 11 p.m. To midnight as on May the 15th, when the tourist season officially opens. Now, I remember people saying, oh, they're never going to have that happen when the tourists arrive. But this is the interesting thing. Why are you still going to have a curfew when the tourists arrive? Does this mean we're going to go back to last year, where as soon as we had to close bars, restaurants and whatever at midnight, because they kind of expected people to go back to their accommodation after having a nice evening out? Somehow this seems to me to be a repeat performance of last year, if they do the stupidity and madness of that. One, it's loss of revenue inside bars, restaurants, etc. Also as well, if you want a controlled environment, put people in their bars and restaurants where they can have a drink and chat and enjoy themselves, rather than wandering aimlessly with nowhere to go because everything's shut at midnight and the police are too busy out booking businesses for being open after midnight. So let's hope a little bit of common sense comes here, and that this stupidity of a curfew in the middle of a tourist season just gets squashed. Please learn from last year. I know here last year the beach got absolutely trashed night after night, with thousands of people going to the beach because there was nowhere else to go. Didn't see any police trying to stop it. They just let it happen. So again, we'll keep an eye on that as well. He also added, Georgiadis said, that SMS texting, the authorities of individual movements, they're going to start to phase that out. I like the wording is they're going to start to phase it out. Not we're going to stop it, but we're going to phase it out round about May the 15th, as they're also talking about starting with the shopping. So you won't have to put on your phone that you're going to the shops, but you probably have to say you're going for a medical, you're going to the bank, you're going to get your car MOT'd, or you're going to exercise or go for a coffee. So again, listen, you're either going to keep it going or you're going to stop it. Make your mind up, one or the two. Basically stop it. We don't need it. Are you going to make the tourists text as well their movements, so you can find out where they're going at night as well? Also as well, all schools and foreign language institutes, they're going to be allowed to open next Monday, with teaching staff and students obliged to self-test for the coronavirus before attending. Administrative courts, they're also going to open on Monday. Sorry, that is today, not next week, but today. That also includes the schools as well. While museums will open on Friday, May the 14th. And music conservatories, this is where people go to learn to play instruments. They will actually open on the 17th of May, believe it or not. And we do have a music conservatory here. We have the music school here. I wonder if they're going to open on the 17th as well. As for open air cinemas, they're going to be allowed to open on May the 21st. So you might be able to go and see a film down on the beach as of May the 21st, if the company's still up and viable. But they're only going to be allowed to fill up 75% of their seats. And open air events, including concerts, they're allowed to start on May the 28th, but only seated at 50% capacity. The other thing that I was looking out for, and I've seen no mention of it, although there was a lot of rumour and gossip going round that music in bars is going to be stopped as of the 15th. There's been no word of that whatsoever. I can't see that in any official document, any local news press or anything. No mention on lifting the music ban, which is something that I want to see, because again, it means I've got a job to go back to as soon as we get our tourists here. So at the moment, we're still up in the air. And again, typical the way all governments do, they kind of trickle feed what they're going to do to see what the reaction is before they'll finally confirm it on the day that they confirm it. In some ways, you wish they'd just bloody well tell you and make it clear and concise and coherent, so we completely understand what's going on. Now, the knock-on effect is this at the moment. The Greek press is already forecasting that tourism for Greece is pessimistic, all right, as the cancellation of trips by British tourists who had booked holidays in the Greek destinations through TUI Great Britain have already started to materialise. Now, this development follows the announcement that on Friday by the United Kingdom government, which placed Greece as a destination into the orange zone or amber. According to Konstantinos Sirou, who's the president of the COS Hoteliers Association and is also the president of the Institute of Tourism Research and Forecasts, TUI Great Britain, with a verbal information to its partners in Greece, stated that it has had the first cancellations after the announcement, but a final decision regarding whether it will implement their schedule for trips to Greece in May will be received from Monday, depending on the number of cancellations. So it looks like we should hear something today as to what's going to happen with this. Is with TUI UK, not with TUI Germany, TUI Russia, or TUI from anywhere else, but TUI UK, who we rely on here at the moment for tourism. Anyway, TUI UK plans to fly to Kos from May the 17th. However, after the announcements of the British government that places the country in the orange, which means the British tourist returning to England enters a 10-day home quarantine while they must have a negative test before returning, and that's going to cost 60 euros in Kos. This is a Kos story. It's going to cost 60 euros in Kos with 2 PCR tests 2 and 8 days later after their return, which they're saying is going to cost a further 240 euros. The choice of coming to Greece now is becoming more difficult. Anyway, Mrs. Serou explains that the Greek hoteliers hope that the British government would choose to put the destination in zones and not countries. Basically, what they're saying is this, that certain islands like Rhodes, Kos, Corfu, they would obviously go into the green. Zakynthos at the moment, because of what's gone on with Mitsotakis putting us in the red, and then we were in deep red and then we're in light red, that we might actually be one of those that might be in a position where we might not get people come because we've technically been in the red. So at the moment, I think this thing about zones might be good for Corfu, it might be good for Rhodes, but it wouldn't be good for us, all right? We would rather it was the whole country's in green, not just being zoned into different areas, because the way the infection rate went through went through Zakynthos, in comparison to everybody else, we were placed into deep red and we only just gone back into red. So again, might be great for those other islands, but not for us. Anyway, ultimately, the decision of Great Britain has created a problem in Greek tourism. I agree with the woman 100%. It is pointed out, however, that the list will be reviewed in 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks of us losing money by the British government. And it's hoped that our country will present better epidemiological indicators and will join the green zone. For this reason, the epidemiology course of our country in the coming days is of particular importance. So again, this is other islands, this is how they're looking at what's going on at the moment. And again, you can see a split. And if I remember rightly, it was said by Mitsotakis at one time that he didn't want to see islands competing against islands. Our island is safer than our neighbours is because we've had a lower rate. And also they were told as well at regional level, you are not to promote island safe environments, i.e. you cannot advertise your island as being completely safe from coronavirus, so come to us and don't go there. That was obviously what the Greek government didn't want to see. They wanted to see the country as a whole. It's you're coming to Greece, you're not going to that part of Greece, this part of Greece, that part of Greece because they're safer, all right? You don't want to go to Athens because that's dangerous, all right? It's you come to Greece. We've already had the lowest rate of infection, we've had the lowest rate of deaths, and we've had one of the highest rates of vaccinations in comparison to a lot of other European countries, all right, at the moment. So again, this is interesting now to see that there's a twitchiness coming in at the moment between the islands as to whether, you know, their bookings are now being cancelled because of the likes of somebody over there, because we are now in West, we're in the amber. So again, at the end, I'm hoping this is not going to build, but just thinking of the way psyches can work here, I'm hoping that, yeah, we will go at some point into green, and sooner the better, basically. Right, okay. Back to the murder case. More's been going on over Sunday with what's happened. For those people who are not aware, but basically we had a Mafia hit of a local businessman here in Zakynthos on Friday. He was basically gunned down outside or inside an insurance office down in town. He was killed instantly. Another person within that business was injured, but not killed. But anyway, it's now been revealed on Open TV by reporter Mina Karaku that the CCTV footage from a security camera which recorded the getaway of the hitman of the Zakynthian businessman who was murdered in broad light, they've managed to trace some of the escape route. And that video now is in the hands of the Hellenic police. You might remember that they'd actually escaped in a silver car. That car was dumped at the Amber Lockerbie Cemetery. The car was then burned out. And inside that car, there was also discovered 2 AK-47 assault rifles there as well. Now, at the same time, according to the report, the victim, after the murderous attack of last year, which resulted in the death of his wife. So this guy, Dimis, was actually attacked last year just yards from his home. 2 men attacked him. Unfortunately, his wife was murdered and he survived. He'd already had given the authority 8 names that he considered were related to the execution of his wife. Now, more specifically, the video is particularly important as the authorities consider it certain that the murderers of the businessman had wrecked the escape route before executing the death contract on the morning of Friday, May the 7th. Anyway, at the same time, through the video, the police have found more material, and step by step they hope to reach the killers. Now, they said they did not know the actual facial characteristics of them because obviously their faces were covered, but they have noticed that the possibility that the hitmen had used local people to obviously assist them in the hit, either innocently or knowingly at the moment. Anyway, for this reason, an attempt is being made by the police to locate accommodation or rented houses where the team that came obviously to hit the guy had probably stayed at the beginning of the month from Athens, they say, and may have had obviously something to do with the death contract. Now, later on last night, news was released on the mainstream Greek media. However, it's not filtered down through to the local press at the moment, that police had further developments yesterday in the fact that they have been questioning a man who actually owned a boat. And they're thinking now that maybe this boat was the vehicle used to transport these guys off the island. Anyway, the police haven't said whether the man has been arrested. All they said is that he's been questioned. Pictures of the boat were placed actually on the media, on the television media yesterday. The boat is like a rib inflatable, which is a pretty impressive craft. The name of the boat is called Just for Kicks, which again raises a dry smile. But at the moment, the investigation is still ongoing. The police had been working on the assumption that maybe the killers are still here on the island and they hadn't actually left the island, and maybe the reports of going on a boat was maybe a decoy, maybe waiting for things to quieten down and then surreptitiously leave. But at the moment, the regional crime squad or the regional murder squad for the Ionian Islands is here and they are conducting the investigation. The investigation was said yesterday has linked up with the investigation from last year into the death of the businessman's wife, and they're obviously all working together on this. They'd also said as well that this looked like a completely professional hit because the empty casings from the weapons used basically had been treated so that there'd be no DNA connection to whoever fired the weapon. And the longer that they're not apprehended, it means the longer that certain evidence is obviously going to deteriorate or is going to be destroyed by those that were involved. So again, at the end of the day, it is a murder, a shocking murder that has really made people raise their eyebrows. But again, at the end of the day, there are children involved in this as well, because not only have they lost their mother from last year, they've also lost their father as well. So again, we'll keep an eye on this story. It's a developing story at the moment. And again, it's not the best press for Zakynthos, to be honest. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see who's... oh, yeah, and finally, I've got an and finally story, all right? Yesterday, I did give you... It was Mother's Day here in Greece yesterday, and I gave you 3 sayings that Greek mothers say to their children, which sort of sums up the Greek psyche. But then again, they're the same sort of sayings that your mother may have said to you when you were young. One of the sayings that made me tickle was, "You're like your father." Basically, she blames him for everything that's bad that happens, including possible alien invasion. So it's always your dad's fault, never the mother's fault, always your dad's fault. Anyway, also as another one was, "Do you know what time you came home last night?" Of course you know. Greek mothers always know what time their children come home at night. And as if you didn't realise what time you come home last night as you tried to sneak in without getting caught. Anyway, another one was... "Won't you become a father one day? I hope your children will do to you the same things you've done to me." As they say in Greece, family justice always prevails, and there's always the Greek guilt element that they like to throw in as well. And another one which I thought was rather funny. You probably got told this by your mother. "Stop walking barefoot on the floor or you'll catch a cold." And as they say, every Greek mother has graduated from medical school, and everyone in the house knows that, because she's always right and she's never wrong. And if she is wrong, the first rule always applies. So there you go. Some more Greek mother sayings, and also mothers in general sayings as well. Right, let's have a quick look and see who's tuning in at the moment. Alf Ling is watching. Nice to see you. Vicky Wood is also tuning in as well. Christine Coldwell is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in, Christine. I hope you're having a nice time over there in Leighton Buzzard. Steve Hinkling says, "Gallimera looks lovely. Hope you have a good day hope you had a good day at the beach." Well, as I said, we never really got to the beach yesterday, to be quite honest. We were too busy chatting to people in bars. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Anyway, Rosewood is watching as well. Amanda Gregory is also watching as well. Dave Matthews over there in Oxford is watching. Melissa Vickers is also watching as well. Julie Hanron is watching. Dave Matthews says, "Good morning, weather okay, sunshine and showers, waiting at Stand Lake recycling tip to open, busy day today, dentist at 9. Bless you, fella. Make sure you get those teeth sorted." Wendy Norcliffe is watching as well. Teresa Ann Huggett is watching. Also, Susie Angus in Birmingham is watching as well. Heather Nash in Birmingham is watching. Melanie Bickers says, "Great update. Very good news." Thank you for that, Melissa. I do try. Heather Nash says, "Good morning to you and Jane from sunny Birmingham. The sun is back in Birmingham." That's good to hear. Alf Ling says, "Good morning from a warm and sunny Suffolk." Julie Stevens is watching as well. Heather Beetham is watching too. Give you guys a quick wave back. Ronald Woods, Chippy Woods is also watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in as well, Chippy. Last time I heard Chippy was over in Spain, but he said something about being in Kurdistan or something. Anyway, happy Kurdistan Day. Christine Brown is watching as well. Christine Brown says, "Morning." Frank Proud, Raff Reg buddy. Nice to see from you, Frank. He's tuning in as well. Julie White is also tuning in. Andrew the Fridge Watkins is tuning in from Wales. Tim Crystal says, "Good morning. Hope you both are well. Had a great weekend." Thank you for that, fella. Larry Smith is watching as well. Norman Hall is watching. Maria Hallberg in Sweden is watching. Lovely picture of your cat looking out the window this morning into the streets at the daybreak. Bless it. At least you had no snow out there today, but it wasn't looking very nice in Sweden, I've got to be honest. Joe Bamford is watching. Heather Nash says, bloody hell, mate, sounds like the whole world has gone crazy. I'm so hoping things will be a lot better by September. Hopefully by September we'll know what's going on and things will have calmed down, all right? Dave Cramp says, morning DJ Ginge, how the devil are you? All good, I hope. Yes, all is fantastic, Dave. Steve Henley is also tuning in. He says, morning Ginge. Also, Heather says, they're talking to each other. Hi, Tim. Hope you're doing well. We send our love to you. That's from Heather Nash. There's conversations going on between people. Shane Bowen says, Gallimera, Ginge, great shows over the weekend. Showers all week, forecast on sunny Exmoor. Just a quick one for you. Those people tuning into my Northern Soul show yesterday may have felt a feeling of deja vu. We had a glitch with the server. And a show went out which was an earlier show. I thought it was the Easter show, but it wasn't. It was a show from before Easter, so it didn't sound too bad. However, the show that should have gone out is going to go out tonight at 7 o'clock UK time, my Northern Soul show. So you can catch up with that show tonight, the proper show that should have gone out. There was a little bit of, what shall we say, texting frantically behind the scenes going, what's happened? What's happened? It's never done this before. It's never done this before. And we found, we've discovered a glitch in the server. That's basically what it is. We've discovered a glitch in the server. So hopefully it isn't going to happen again. All right. So again, tonight, 7 o'clock, the Northern Soul show. So all those people, you've got a double dose of Northern Soul this week on beatsradio.co.uk. Anyway, Yvonne Monroe says, morning, Ginge. Barbara Cocker is chatting with Steve Headley. Barbara Cocker says, morning, Ginge. Thank you. Dean Edwards is watching as well. Denise Tyndall is watching. Joan Bamford is watching. Morning, Ginge, from sunny Rotherham. I thought I was going to say Rotterdam there. Sunny Rotherham. Nice to have you tuning in. Andy Reid is also watching as well. Rapper Edge Buddy. Good morning from a rainy Sweden. Have a lovely day. Bernard Loftus is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in. And yes, Bernard phoned me yesterday to tell me that the Sandwich Islands are near Hawaii. So I'm really chuffed about that. We've discovered whether you're allowed to go to the Sandwich Islands if they're under the jurisdiction of America, because at the moment I think America is not on the green list at the moment. That's a bit more research to be done. But anyway, thank you for getting in touch with me there. He also said it's just close to the Marmalade Mountains as well. I think that was a joke on sandwiches, all right. Anyway, Ian Daly's watching as well. Dennis Valens is also watching as well. Right, now listen, I better go, guys, because I've got a lot to do this morning. Once again, thanks for tuning in. You will notice my dance anthem show is up online. I put that up in the early hours of this morning because I was writing news up until the early hours. I was also sorting out my dance anthem show for this weekend, which I will be recording at some point this afternoon, ready to go into the server. And then don't forget tonight, beatsradio.co.uk. It's the Northern Soul show with me, the proper show going out, not one from a couple of weeks ago, which was quite nice listening back to that. And those people who did churn up in the chat room yesterday, who stuck with it thinking, I'm feeling deja vu, but I'm not quite sure about it. Thank you for being understanding. And I'm glad you enjoyed the music and also your little memories and little stories about your time at the Wigan Casino and stuff like that. Anyway, listen, I'm going to let you get on. You have a lovely week, whatever you're doing this week. I'll be keeping my ear to the ground. We are getting closer now to the 17th of May. In fact, can I just quickly say happy birthday to my brother Martin? It's his birthday today, so have a nice day, fella, whatever you're up to. And basically, I'll keep my ear to the ground, and if I hear of anything, I'll let you know about it. Trust me, I'm checking all the time. And the 15th is when our tourist season starts. Just remind you that, and that's not far away now. That's this Friday, believe it or not. We might be seeing tourists arrive, okay, this Friday. And again, I shall find out what's happening with Magdalena's and what we're planning to do at the moment. Hopefully, I'll catch up with Dennis. I think managed to catch him yesterday, although Jane and I did have a quick look round Sillery. Again, people very busy getting ready to go back to work. Some places are open already, ready just for when people start to turn up. But anyway, you have a great day. I will speak to you again, and take care, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.